Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Sasaki to Pii-chan episode 5, if I'm not mistaken, in which, who knows what's gonna happen really. We are probably going to spend a little bit more time in Japan, maybe, because the previous couple of episodes were very, otherworld heavy, and we know that Sasaki now has new obligations in Japan, right? He got promoted. There's a gang of psychics that he needs to take care of, etc., etc. So I would assume we're gonna get to Japan. Also, the otherworldly arc is the current otherworldly arc is done. So I don't know. We'll see. Just my just my prediction. What happened in the previous episode? In the previous episode, Sasaki and Piercarlo went to. What were they doing, actually? Oh, right. They decided that they will. They want to be involved in the war, right? They cannot allow Miller's country to fall, and they have the power to do so, so why not do it? They went and destroyed an enemy camp. Well, Piercarlo did, at least. Sasaki was just watching. Then they got separated because some sort of a demon lady attacked Pierre. Sasaki fell, used the old Minecraft trick of dumping loads of water below to cushion his fall. He met Miller and Crown Prince, I believe Adonis, who Miller, at least, apparently is alive still. They just got separated from the army and presumed MIA or KIA rather. But then Miller says that, oh no, it was just a part of the plan to weed out the schemers. I knew someone was plotting something, so what I created this whole scenario. I pretended to be dead to weed them out, and I don't know. Again, probably a matter of the source material just explaining it more, and there not being enough time for that in the anime, which is understandable, of course. We don't have 20-something episodes either. We gotta remember it's a 12-episode show, oddly enough. Right, so Miller came back. Brothers of Elsa, turns out they were also alive. They also staged their fight, their deaths. The Sebastian, the butler, got busted. The whole plan got busted. Everybody lives happily ever after. Oh, and the jig is up with Pierre, at least in front of Miller and Adonis. Pierre just didn't care about revealing his true nature, I guess. And yeah, sure, okay, you got me there. I am actually the Star Sage. Been a while, Miller. Wanna grab a drink one day? It was supposed to be that big, huge secret, but I mean, I guess Miller is his friend, so of course he would reveal that. I'm waiting for my tea to cool down, so I have to make do with water, unfortunately. And that's it. That's it about the previous episode. Today's episode? I don't know, honestly. The previous episode finished that war arc, so today's episode can be anything really. Maybe we're gonna see Magical Pink again. That would be nice because she only appeared for a brief second and then we've never seen her again. Maybe that's gonna be her arc. I know. I don't know. We'll see about that. But to see it, you will need to watch this episode with me. And to do that, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Sasaki to Pii-chan episode 5 in 3, 2, 1. Go. Otonari-san's perspective? Interesting. Right, he's been stuck in the other world? Or he's been stuck at work? Which one is it, I wonder? Grabbing some plain toast, carrying it as if it was textbooks. Whomst? Oh, she's dead. Or just wounded. I guess some Rouge psychic attacked? That would be my best guess. Oh, is this jig also gonna be up? Is this... Oh. It was sun flare on the screen, but it wasn't moving even when they switched scenes. So I thought my screen is dirty. When a cheap screen flare makes you think the screen is dirty, eh? Screen flare, light flare, whatever you want to call it. Light beams, I guess, would be more apt. Yeah, this parallel still makes me wonder. And the crown being placed next to Otonari. It has to mean something. Fuck if I know what, but it has to mean something. A magical man and a third world. So, a magical Pink's world, perchance? Or a third world as in, I know, Kenyan psychic appeared in Japan. I don't fucking know. That Sasaki guy, you say, huh? Yeah, maybe don't talk about magic in front of civilians. You'd think they would have better, you know, whatchamacallit, training in those regards. Right, there is some time dilation between those words. Oh? Worlds. Interesting. What would it depend on, I wonder? Thank you for the recap. Nice. Very nice. No longer a Viscount. And a knightly title. That's good. Okay, climbing up on the ladder. Could it be that using magic accelerates time? The stronger magic you use, the faster it flows, or something like that? Vacation. She's gonna see her. No. Okay. In the nick of time, they managed to escape. Otonari had a box cutter prepared. Okay, so you're not dealing with the murder after all. Yeah, said the kid. Okay, so not the murderer. We know at least that much. Yeah, fair assumption. Maybe you, but not her. Watch issues arise. The strongest magic. Him? Apparently. I mean, not like he's gonna attack you. I don't think, at least. He's gonna attack his bullies? Probably. Does does his pyrokinesis manifest under like duress? That's why it's like spontaneous. I don't think he has conscious control of it. Yeah, and the bullies are still alive, so right? Yeah. Let's not make him even more of a target. I mean, it is possible, sure. He probably has a breaking point that he might just reach. Sure, why not? You're both a similar age, so you don't act like it, but right? Rising up in life. Totally not Costco. Legally distinct Costco. Is that Hoshizaki in school uniform? It totally is, isn't it? Does she have a mole? It's absolutely her. In emergence hairstyle, but it's absolutely her. I don't know. Do you read manga? Yeah, extract yourself. Oh? Oh? Is that gonna trigger pyrokinesis? No need. Hoshizaki can manage. Pyrokinesis, there we go. Here's the trigger. Super Saiyan 7! He's gonna turn blonde. Well, shit. That's a big fire blast. He's been holding it in for the past week. Okay, what can you do, Sasaki? Telekinesis? Shield? Sure, let the plane crash into the shield. Let's not save the pilot. Why would we? I guess a trolley problem, right? Do I save the pilot or do I save those 5 people? And the jig is up. Or is she not going to put 2 and 2 together? Or is she just not going to question the shield? She is. Okay. So the jig is up. Oh, I spontaneously manifested the new power. Are you going to drown the witnesses? Yeah. Apparently. What did you do with your water? Oh, so Mahou shoujos are a thing? Or is she just, like, equating that to a manga situation? No, okay, Mahou shoujo are a thing. They're just a thing. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so a third way of magic. Magical pink, I would assume. Magical pink, magical pink. Yeah, coming out of the Amararirku. So magical girls are the enemies of psychics? Is that what we're going for? Like a millennia long fight between magical girls and psychics? Why? Can we domesticate her with food, perhaps? I'm just a bystander. Oh, and you are here as well. Everybody's here. Invite Piercarlo while we're at it. Color? Okay, so I guess Futari Shizuka is purple? Or like a specific shade of purple, I guess. Instant transmission. I guess she didn't see the barrier. Regeneration. She has a lot of abilities. Oh, spit needles. Hey, that's actually super cool. Using her own spit to create icicles. Yeah, I would like to know that as well. Magical girls being antagonists. And the jig is up. Yes, Oji-san is a psychic. A mage, more aptly. Maho Shonen. Maho Junen. Okay. I mean, kinda. Kinda. You could say that Pierre in his current form is kinda like a Mahou Shoujo familiar, right? Oh, did you kill it, perchance? Okay. She fucking skinned Cubey. uh, she skinned Cubey. And what do you have against psychics? Yes, please. Answers. Ah, vengeance then. Let's maybe find those exact psychics then. How does that sound? And exact revenge on them. Instead of just killing all psychics willy-nilly. I love the effect of the portal. I always like the use of mixed media in otherworldly elements like that. One of my favorite parts about Madoka Magica and the style of Madoka Magica, and I really like this as well. Oh boy. The plot thickens, doesn't it? The plot sure thickens. We now get Futari Shizuka out of nowhere. We have Magical Pink hunting psychics for vengeance, killing Cubase. This food fight ass ending, I swear. Also, the filmic grain just makes it look as if like they were rendering it in Blender but didn't turn on the denoiser. Honestly, that's what it looks like. They rendered this scene in fucking cycles and didn't use the denoiser. Oh boy, let's watch it again. This was a really cool episode. I really enjoyed myself. We get some more insight into Otonari-san taking plain bread with her from the cafeteria, which I guess lends credence to my theory that she lives in a more or less not like directly abusive home, right? Like her mother doesn't punch her in the face, but I feel like she might be struggling for food, right? Stuff like that. So she takes this bread to have something to eat for dinner if she isn't let into the house, for example. Something along those lines. A murder in a physical way, not with fire, so we know it's not our newfound psychic. Magical girls being the antagonists. Huh. And yeah, and I'm still constantly stuck on this scene, on this parallel, and on the crown being shown next to Otonari-san. There has to be something to it, but I still have no clue what exactly. We'll see. We'll have to call in Hoshizaki and Sasaki. Partnering with Hoshizaki, he's her water source. He can make large icicles. Again, maybe don't talk about things like that next to civilians. Right? Maybe don't talk about things like that at all. Clear the scene of civilians, of policemen. I don't think the regular patrolmen are even up to serve the specific clearance to know about that stuff. So maybe don't talk about it out loud, right? That might be a good idea. This is interesting. Time dilation is different this time around. We don't know why, but there probably is a reason. I wonder. My first instinct tells me it has something to do with it either has something to do with magic, right? Like if you use a lot of magic in a given world, it accelerates the creates more whatchamacallit, the concept from Madoka Magica, why Cubase gather the energy, entropy. Yeah, using magic increases entropy in a given world, so it changes the flow of time. And while you are still in that world, you don't feel that. But if you jump between worlds and a different amount of magic is used in those worlds, you start noticing the discrepancy. Could be that, or it could be because the worlds are joined, connected more commonly, because Sasaki is jumping to and fro. Then the time dilation also slowly, with each jump, the time dilation slowly evens out, right? As if you had two containers with water joined with a pipe, and you open the pipe briefly, the water can even out, then you close it, right? Then you open it again, it can even out, right? You get the idea. I'm gonna note it down, because I think I might be onto something here with either of those theories. Time dilation changes with magic used. Time dilation evens out because the two worlds get connected briefly when Sasaki jumps between. Either of those two. Those are my current running theories. We'll see which one, if any, is true. Viscount Miller gets a place at the palace and the rank of a full count. Sasaki gets knighted, working directly under the royal family, directly in charge of Prince Adonis's personal assets. Otherworld activity log. Departure, 3 days time since return. Fight with enemy forces on the Rectan Plains. Revealed truth with Peeps, Viscount Miller, and Prince Adonis. Return to Bytrum. Resolved House Miller succession dispute. Moved to capital city Alestos and spent a night in the palace. Played board games with a maid. Nice. Audience with the King of Hearts. Appointed Knight of the Realm. Viscount Miller promoted to Count. Entrusted with managing Prince Adonis's personal assets. I love that he made a whole ass fucking PowerPoint about it. Not just like a simple text file with time or date what happened, or whatever. No, a whole ass fucking PowerPoint presentation. That's a salesman for you. Hoshizaki is here, and we get a job. I fully expected their job to be the murder that Otonari witnessed, but apparently no. Apparently it's something else. Someone else is probably handling the case of the murder. I fully expected Otonari to see them together, maybe exiting the apartment together, or Hoshizaki waiting in front of the door, or something like that, or them talking through the door, but no, thankfully. High schooler in Saitama Prefecture, unusual phenomena, pyrokinesis. And yeah, just an E-rank psychic. This didn't look like E-rank to me. I guess it could be a case of him just using low-ranking abilities on the daily because he never saw the need to use anything big, right? Like, he got frustrated, he punched the wall and some sparks flew. Or he got really annoyed with homework and set his notebook on fire, right? Stuff like that. But he never had enough emotions and enough of a reason to fully, blast the fire full tilt. Only happened now. That's why he was misclassified. We're running an evaluation of all schools. Sure. Getting bullied. That didn't trigger. Yeah. And yeah, Hoshizaki is probably the best candidate to contact him because they're a similar age. She needs to take off her makeup, put on a school uniform, and they're just, peers from different schools maybe, or even from the same school. It's easier to talk like that, right? Working from a cafe with a laptop and a good coffee next to a Costco. They're eating some crepes. She can defend herself, but yeah, still, this is what triggers his pyrokinesis. And this really isn't rank E. This is a whole ass fucking fire column. Destroying a whole ass plane. That's not setting, I know, houseplant on fire. That's like ranks and ranks above. I fully expected Sasaki to use telekinesis to grab the plane and stop it from falling and set it gently on the ground. I fully expected that, but instead he cast a huge ass shield and fucked the pilot. Which I guess makes sense, right? He protected 5 people, sacrificing the life of one. Maybe that's not even a given. Where the fuck are you? There's an ant walking on my camera. Summon ice, and she used water somehow? I don't know what was this supposed to be. Did she suffocate them so they lose consciousness? Did she use water bending to move water molecules in their brains to erase their memories? What exactly happened now? I have no clue. Right, magical girls are apparently a thing. All this time I was under the impression that magical girls come from some other realm, from other world, from a third world, especially with the episode being titled something something third world, right? We have Japan, we have the fantasy world, and we have a Mahou Shoujo world. Would make sense. But apparently they are known in the world, seven of them, and one is in Japan. So either they are... No, they cannot be moving between worlds. There cannot be like a Mahou Shoujo world, because why would Magical Pink be killing psychics from this world? if she's from a different world, right? It wouldn't make sense. So I guess it's where, like, figuratively, right? The world of magic, the world of psychics, and the world of magical girls. I guess that makes sense. And yeah, apparently they are a thing. She's been going around killing psychics. And here she is. Scavenging for food by a supermarket. I wonder if that's actually gonna be how we eventually maybe possibly befriend her. That she just can be domesticated with food. Magical pink can be domesticated with food. Entirely possible. Yeah, I'm just a police officer, and Futari Shizuka is also here for some goddamn reason. Let me translate it real quick. I think I might have already translated it before, but I just don't remember what Futari Shizuka means. Oh, okay, Futari Shizuka translates to Futari Shizuka. Thank you for the translation, Google. Thank you for the translation. Very helpful. There's a Futari Shizuka hotel in Takayama. So I guess that's something. Magical girls involved too. Rich purple. I guess Futari Shizuka is the color, this purple color. This is cool. This is great. I always enjoy it when characters who are like, you know, high and mighty and whatnot just do some silly, goofy shit like that. It really, how do I say it? Not humanizes them. No, that's not the correct term. It makes them more endearing, right? I find myself caring about Futari Shizuka a little bit more now. I find myself wanting her to join the main cast a little bit more now. Right? You know what I mean. I hope, because I cannot explain it any better. Interesting that the barrier is invisible. Of course, Hoshizaki just straight combat mode. Oh, we do see the impact. Yeah, I was about to say that we see the impact and the icicle breaking, but not actual effects. But no, we do see the hole actually appear. Thankfully, she has regeneration abilities. This is super cool. This is amazing. Using her own spit to form icicles. This is great. Especially after I watched the recent episode of Frieren, and there was also a mage who needs water to use her powers. Cool. Really, really cool. And yeah, she was offering help, so don't jump straight into trying to fight her. Request joining forces, or is it some other request that she hasn't voiced yet? You are a psychic, and no, a magical man. Majo Junen. A fairy? You should have said yes. Peeps is, you know, decently fairy-like, I would say. A bird with a star on his chest that can talk, right? That fits the description of a magical girl mascot perfectly. It's gone now, I killed it. I love it. I love how... and no music. And after she says that, we start completely different music. This like dark circus, dark cabaret kind of genre of music. Cool. I really like this very interesting approach to magical girls. There are very few. They are known. The Japanese magical girl is going around murdering psychics for revenge, and she killed her fucking Kyubey and skinned it and is wearing its skin as a fucking scarf. How metal can you get? Yeah, I never wanted to become a magical girl. It just turned me into one, so I killed it and skinned it, and I'm wearing its fucking belt. uh, Psychics killed my family, then killed my precious friends. I wonder why. I genuinely wonder what happened. Like, actually, we know there are rogue psychics out there. So it's entirely not out of the question that there are psychics who are just going around killing people, burning random houses. Absolutely. One madman did want to slice Hoshizaki up, didn't he? Right? So there probably are even more of them. So it's actually not out of the question that her family and friends would actually have been killed by a psychic. And then she wants revenge, but not on the innocent. And she notices that there is a kid who's scared, who lost his bike in the whole thing, and she doesn't want to add to that kid's suffering. She doesn't want to watch the kid her gore Sasaki right in front of his eyes, right? She doesn't want to blow up nearby buildings. She doesn't want to put that kid in any more danger, so she moves out. Interesting. Like, she has a target, psychics, and she keeps to it. But at the same time, she's conscious of everything else. Completely unlike, I don't fucking know, Marvel superheroes who will grab the bad guy and slam him into a building, not caring that there are people inside of the building and they're just gonna be smushed into paste by the impact of alien behemoth flying into them, thrown by Hulk or whatever, right? Interesting. She seems like a very complex character. She's not solely about revenge. Well, she is about revenge, but not at all cost. She never wanted to be a magical girl, but she became one anyway. What is the mechanic of becoming a magical girl? Do you have to want it, or can a fairy just turn you? What are magical girls? Right. Oh, there's so much depth. We don't know shit about any of that. Like, I have no fucking clue what to think of any of that. How can I even begin to unwrap what's going on here? I can have my theories and whatnot, but we are given so little information that I just don't know. All I do know is that I like what I'm seeing, and I want to see more of it. Good shit. Really, really good episode. And there she goes. And there we go. There we go. With episode 5 of Sasaki and Peeps. Huh. Again, like the first half, the first 3/4 even of this episode where I don't want to say whatever. Because we meet a new psychic, we learn a little bit more about Otonari, right? But those are like fairly small things compared to the last quarter, last third. I don't know how much was it. Actually, let me check that. Yeah, it would be like last third of this episode that teaches us about magical girls. And that they aren't just strays from another world. I mean, we don't know about the others, but from what we can tell, they inhabit this world. There is both psychics and magical girls in Japan. And they can use all sorts of magic. Unlike psychics, they aren't limited to just one magic spell or magic branch or whatever you want to call it, right? And this particular magical girl has a vendetta against psychics. That's so cool. That's so unique. I have not seen this approach to magical girls. I have seen the approach to magical girls of, magical girls but dark. Magical girls but the love, hard beam actually leaves a gory, heart-shaped hole in your enemy. Right? I've seen that. But I have not seen any show, any media where magical girls would be not the protagonist, first of all, not the main characters, and second of all, actively antagonistic towards our main characters. Interesting. And what's really cool about this episode is that at every given moment, I feel that there is more to basically anything they're talking about. When they're talking about time dilation, I get the feeling that it's not just, oh, it's just random, or, oh, it just changes. No, there is some reason behind that. There is some sort of a mechanic. There is some law of the world that governs time dilation between realms, between worlds, right? I get that feeling. With Magical Girl, with Magical Pink, I again get the feeling that there's more to that. There's more to her origin story. There's more to how magical girls work. There's more to all of that. It's cool. It's really cool that I really get the feeling that everything is planned. They're not just winging it. They're not just doing a psychic of the week kind of show. None of that. There is a plan. There is a world that's been crafted by the author of the original source, and they're sticking to it. And they're planning in that there are pages of notes written about what's happening and what will happen, what consequences will there be. There is a reason why Futari Shizuka just randomly appeared here. I have no doubt about that. I guess this anime is really done a disservice by, first of all, being only 12 episodes long, because I feel like they are skipping some things or shortening them at least. On one hand, it's just, adaptation woes. You cannot adapt a light novel word for word into an anime because you would spend 15 minutes just listening to the inner monologue of the main character. So it just doesn't work. It just will not work. It cannot work. But on the other hand, I feel like I would be a little bit more confident maybe if it was 20-something episodes, because they could take a little bit more time with everything that's happening. And I would have the certainty that they will go over all they need to go over, that everything will be explained reasonably well within those 24 episodes. With just 12 of them, I'm not sure we're gonna get all the answers. And if we do, I don't think they will all be fully satisfying. We'll see though. We'll see, of course. Anything else? Anything else? Interesting that we got a... Actually, is it interesting? I wanted to say that it's interesting that we got the first part of this episode from Otonari's perspective, and yet we learned almost nothing about her. It was just a slice of life moment with her. But that would be a lie. We learned a little bit more about her. We know that she gets extra bread from home. We know that she waits patiently for Sasaki. We know, or we can surmise at least, that perhaps Sasaki isn't there to give her anpan or whatever, so she has to get the dry bread to have something to stuff her stomach with. But it also allowed her to enter the world a little bit more. All this time she was fairly removed. Just a neighbor, just hanging around, not getting any major role, having that one yandere episode, but that's about it. But now she overhears Sasaki from the police. She overhears Hoshizaki. She overhears he's her water source. What do you mean water source? What's up with that? Right? She can slowly start piecing things together. I fully expect her to follow Sasaki one day, for example, or be otherwise dragged into this magical world. And perhaps that's when the appearance of the crown next to her and her being placed in parallel to Elsa will come to light. We'll see. We shall see all about it. Anything else about this episode? I don't think so. Magical girls, cool. Otonari entering the world, cool. Really good episode overall. I'm not gonna talk about production quality because of course it could have been better, but it also could have been worse, and I think I talked about it enough. So for what it's worth, for the production level of this show, this episode was really good. I like where it's going, like plot-wise, story-wise, world-wise, and I think that's what matters the most. I've seen plenty of shows that weren't particularly stellar graphically, but I really just enjoyed witnessing what the characters do, and I think this will be one of those shows. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, all about it in the comments down below. Like this video. No spoilers, first of all, no spoilers. Please, spoilers, go to my Discord if you want, or in the description. Like this video if you did. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Sasaki to Pii-chan, but also Frieren, Shangri-La Frontier, Majo to Yajuu, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows and like Majo Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB without an Ethical Survivor, Zayrain, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Marshik, Fazel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to be on a Magical Girls hit list.